question for those that might not have heard it is, yeah, we all know this, so what's Fosl going to do about it? Part of the way Fosl grew was I was invited to speak to a bunch of post-carbon groups. And the post-carbon people had down the Chicken Little message real well. And then you'd say, well, okay, the sky's falling, but what do we do about it? Well, you localize. Well, what does that mean? Well, you get control of your resources. And I said, the multinationals own all the resources. So what Fosl has done is gone down to the simplest possible denomination. Local people in control of or owning, through nonprofits, real estate trusts, land that we can grow food on. We start at the soil and we work up from there. And we do it in a technical fashion that's consistent with generations being able to use the same technology. And we utilize the social skills that keep us going in the right direction. Fosl's no different than a lot of other organizations, except we're willing to get our hands real dirty and dirt under our fingernails. Like I said, sustainability is not a change of address, it's a change of lifestyle. Also, the other thing about sustainability is that a process, it's not an event. No one knows the answers, no one's been successful, no one's done it absolutely right, but the Grim Reaper, Mother Nature, will determine who gets it right. So it's a gamble, it's exciting, it's a bet. We think we're on the right track. I'd like to have some help from you guys. Here's Hina again.
The other half of the answer to that question is that we're being very conscious of how we organize and how we have our relationships. We are organized democratically in a council style, and we are also making sure that we keep learning how to work together better and better and cooperate with each other. And that's a really, really big part of Fosl. There are a lot of communities that have gotten started and fallen apart because of stalemates. So we pay attention to preventing conflicts and to learning those kinds of skills that help us succeed and work together. I mean, what's the hardest things that humans can do is have a relationship. We all have relationships, and then we meet people or we work with people that we judge in one way or another. So how do we get past that, and how do we grow that, and how do we grow ourselves to be that citizen? So we're paying attention to many levels. Our personal involvement through self-knowledge, our leadership through being really conscious about relationships, and the level of the collective is how to tap the collective intelligence. We all bring a lifetime of knowledge to the table. So instead of fighting about it, how do we maximize and optimize the fact that you are bringing a different perspective that I wouldn't see in my wildest dreams, and how to appreciate it rather than fight with it. Yeah.
So I'm hearing that it's also one of the important differences that you spend a lot of energy focusing on evolving and finding ways to create collaborative and conflict-free resolutions to your challenges.
They're never conflict-free.
Well, conflict in the positive sense of the word.
Right.
It's like turning conflict into dilemma rather than conflict. I'm wondering what specific methods and technologies like NBC or what are you that you found successful so far?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I can do shameless marketing. Well, one of the things that we do is that we teach classes. I mean, our mandate as a foundation of sustainable living is, one of the things is to teach what we know and then learn what we don't know. So teaching happens on both sides, on the yin and the yang. So one of the things that I'm doing is I teach a workshop called True Power, which is aimed at the individual and as an introductory class. I also teach a series called True Leadership. And then we talk about True Democracy, which talks about all the different social technologies that are available in how to work together. And there are other people under that umbrella that are teaching those kinds of classes. We have people in the community, nonviolent communication, and all those kinds of things are in our purview and under our umbrella.
So you're drawing on multiple umbrella
Sure.
through
Yeah.
length?
Yeah, there's three focuses. One is the individual focus, the interpersonal focus, and then the collective focus. So we cover all the territory, you know. And the number one is to raise our own consciousness, and it's the individual focus and how to find our own power. I mean, we're dealing with superpowers and an abuse of power out in our society. We have to find our own. We are the superpower of the next generation. We need to be the superpower. How do we be the superpower? And that's the piece. How do we do that?
How do individual superpowers get along when you're trying to decide on which technology?
We're next. The other superpower is bankrupt. Bridges are falling apart. The economy is falling apart. They're sticking Band-Aids on it. This week they lowered the discount rate for the banks. So we don't have to worry about the other guys. We're going to make a world that people want to live in. It's our mandate. We're on the cusp of humanity is on the cusp of an evolution. But we have to take ourselves along in that evolution. We don't want to be the fighters. We don't want to do it the way, all of the ways. We want to do it in a way that we all feel good and not slammed down. We don't want to be, sold to, except for shameless marketing. But you know what I mean. So.